What is going on, my fellow nerds? It is Mike Varall here, coming to you with a video about Pokemon Legends Arceus, which Steve and I are very excited about. We've been playing it for probably a week now, and we have nothing but great things to say about it. Before we get into the video, please make sure you like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make sure you leave a comment below of, I want to know who you chose as your starter. I'm going to get into mine right off the bat. Yeah, I want to hear from you guys what you think about the game, who you chose as your starter, and how far you are into the game. But this is going to be a video about some tips and tricks I wish I knew early on before my gameplay to have a, not that I didn't have a great experience, but maybe to make it a little bit better. So let's dive into it. All right, so my first tip to you guys on your playthrough is choose a starter that intrigues you the most. Now, if you're the type that doesn't mind spoilers, these final evolutions do have their own Hisuian forms, and let me tell you, they're all badass, all right? They're so amazing. So if you want to have that spoiled for you, make sure you go check them out, see what they look like. They're all over the internet. You can go to cerebi.net, they're on there too. You can go check out what they look like. I was dead set. Once this first came out, I've always been a fan of Rowlet. He's my favorite. I love him so much. So I chose Rowlet, and let me tell you, his final starter evolution is amazing. They do get different types. So Typhlosion's gonna be a fire ghost type, very sick. Decidueye ends up being grass fighting, helps you a lot throughout your playthrough. And then we have Samurott as a dark water type. In my opinion, the one that's gonna give you the easiest playthrough based on the nobles and the different types of Pokemon that you just encounter in general, I think Typhlosion's gonna give you the best benefit being a fire ghost type. There's a lot of things that are weak to fire types in this game, so I think you're gonna have a better time with Typhlosion if you're looking for the easier route.
Search the island. He's probably hiding under a rock.
Next, Decidueye is gonna make it not easy, but not difficult either. Like, I've been able to make my team based off of Decidueye's weaknesses, and I've been able to put together a pretty strong squad, in my opinion. And I think Samurott's just honestly gonna give you the most difficult time. Like, most of the nobles are some form of, I think, a grass-ish type Pokemon, so you're gonna have a hard time with Samurott. But again, you have plenty of options out there in the wild to catch what you want, so make sure you just choose a starter that you're gonna love and enjoy and go from there. The second tip I'm gonna give you as a beginner is make sure you upgrade your Satchel as often as you can. There is a guy in the Galaxy headquarters right outside the main office of the commander. He's down there right by the staircase. You talk to him, he'll teach you about how you can upgrade your Satchel, and it starts off pretty cheap at $100, but as you upgrade this Satchel, it gets more and more expensive. Like, I think I'm up to $2 grand for an extra spot in my Satchel.
Got him!
Which is absolutely bonkers, but it might even be more. I think it might be more, like $5 grand I think I'm up to, so that's insane. But you're selling items you're not using, being smart with your cash, crafting as much as possible. You can earn money and be able to afford this, and it does help you in the long run because you can be out there doing your stuff, collecting items, and you get to a point where you're all filled up and you can't collect anything more. It's very, very frustrating. You beat a alpha Pokemon and they drop a rare candy, but you can't pick it up because you're full, and you have to throw something away. That's the last thing you want to do, is throw items away that can be used in the future. So, I mean, if you encounter this, just go back to base camp, put everything in storage, go back out again, but that will get annoying. So if you do have the amount of slots open in your Satchel to pick up as much as possible, it's just easier for you to keep exploring and not have to worry about dropping things off, ditching items, and so forth. So make sure you upgrade your Satchel as much as possible.
That was easy.
The third tip I will give you is always be crafting. They call it ABC. Always be crafting items. You can craft Pokeballs. There's different types. You have the standard Pokeball. You have your Great Ball that you evolve towards the middle of the gameplay story mode. You get your Ultra Balls towards the very end. You got your Feather Balls. You have your Lithium Balls, Levian Balls, I believe, the Heavy Balls. You have tons of options. So collect a lot of Tumblestone. Craft these items. You got your iron, you got to collect that too, your iron chunks, and you need your apricots. So make sure that you collect all that. You craft your Pokeballs as much as you can. You're making your potions, you're making your revives. It's only going to help you when you're stuck deep out in the wild. You lose most of your Pokemon. This alpha Pokemon has destroyed you, and everyone's dead, and there's nothing you can do, but you have to go all the way back to base camp, which sucks, especially if you encounter something you really, really want, all you gotta do is just revive real quick and get back into it and try again. And hopefully you have enough Pokeballs to last you to catch it. So just make sure you're always crafting, stay on top of that. You don't wanna get into a situation where you have nothing to use and you're screwed, essentially.
Knew we shouldn't have listened to you. Now we'll never get out of here.
Tip number 4 I'm gonna give you, which is honestly is something I knew early on. I'm gonna tell you right now, it helped me a lot, is every new Pokemon that you encounter, make sure you catch it right off the bat. You never know if it's gonna spawn in that location again or if you're even gonna see it again, all right? There's a couple that I've missed out on catching and I don't think I've seen them again in that same location. So you gotta make sure once you see something new, you catch it. And make sure that you're doing it in a stealthy way because it's easier to catch a Pokemon when their back is turned towards you than if they're looking straight up at you. And depending upon their nature, whether they attack you or they just run away straight up, you're gonna miss out on getting them. Like I know Eevee runs away very quickly. It's very hard to find. So if you do find an Eevee, make sure you catch it ASAP and make sure you do it in a stealthy way so it doesn't run away. Tip number 5, don't rush through this. Now, I got very excited once I started this. And I'll tell you what, the story is something that is uncomparable to any other story that I've played through with Pokemon. So it's very intriguing to just go for it and get it done. And honestly, it crept up a little too quickly for me. Like the main story mode does happen fast. There's still a lot to do post, don't get me wrong. You gotta catch all the legendaries, you gotta still complete the decks, everything. But the main story itself, don't rush through it. Make sure you have the right team you want. Make sure you're enjoying the regions and the areas to explore. Make sure you don't rush through this because it is a once in a lifetime experience. That first playthrough, it's very exciting. Your 6th tip of this playthrough is make sure you turn the autosave feature off completely. You definitely don't want this going on, especially if you're the one that likes to shiny hunt. You're gonna wanna turn this off because if you do have it on, you're gonna miss out on potentially getting that shiny if it auto saves for you. So you wanna be able to have the ability to manually save itself, but it's very easy. You just go right to settings, you're gonna find the option to turn it off or on. Just turn it off, makes your life easier. That way if you do encounter that shiny that you're looking for, you just save the game right there, you go hunt for it, and if you do end up failing, you just close out the game and you restart from where you saved it from. It makes your life easier, I'm telling you. Tip number 7, train your team. I'm telling you right now, train your team because there's gonna be some alphas out there. Like the other day, I went to go up to this 85 level alpha Garchomp and my team got wrecked. And I couldn't catch it, and it was very frustrating. So make sure you take the time to go train your Pokemon, especially before you end up beating the game because you're gonna need it when you face, depending upon what you're choosing, the Diamond Clan or Pearl Clan. I don't want to spoil much, but especially for Steven over there. Depending on which you choose to partner with, you're gonna want to make sure you have a strong squad for the Nobles and the ending as well. So train your team. There's also, if you guys don't know, you got the Grit Gravel, you got the Grit Rock. There is a way to hyper train your Pokemon. So just open up where you can find your Pokemon. You can scroll over your Pokemon and there's gonna be an option to use the Grit Gravel or the Grit Rocks to upgrade their attributes, their attack, their speed, their HP, their special defense, special attack, all that. You're gonna wanna do that. Like I got most of my guys at 3 or more for each one of their attributes and they're strong. Like they can take down, even though they're around level 60 or so, most of my Pokemon, they will take out some level 70s just because they're so strong. Like my Decidueye, his attack's at a 6, and he is a beast. So you're gonna wanna make sure you take the time to hyper train them. I forget what they call it specifically, but it's basically hyper training in the Hisui region. So make sure you do that. Do it! Coming up on number 8, and I know Steven's been having a very fun time with this. There are tons of side missions, or they call them requests. Do them. Do it! And take your time with them, and that's a way that you don't have to rush this game. Like maybe just do all of the side requests first before you dive into the main story, or just bounce back and forth here and there because there's a lot of fun to have with those side missions, and I've been enjoying them as well, except for one. Big Weasel, Little Weasel. Why is it so difficult to find the Big Weasel? Tell me. I don't get it. I can't find one that's bigger than this guy's Little Weasel. So please, comment below. where do you find this damn thing? Because I don't know. All right, so tip number 9 is for you to catch all the Hisuian form Pokemon, because there is quite a handful and they are all amazing. I mean, obviously you have your starters, whichever one you choose. You're gonna eventually get the other 2 at the end of the game. That's Typhlosion, Samurott, Decidueye. They all have different forms. They look amazing, all right? You then have Hisuian Voltorb and Electrode, Grass, Electric. Very cool, different. Random to be in the Hisui region in my opinion, but very cool concept. You also have, you know, Hisuian Braviary, you have Ursaluna, you have Weirdeer, the evolved form of Stantler, you have Sneasler, the evolved form of Sneasel, which is also a different variant, or Hisuian form, we should say. We have Quillfish, and its evolved form Overquill, very cool. We also got Scyther's alternate evolving Rock Grass Cleavor. Awesome, awesome Pokemon. We got the different form of Sliggoo and Goodra becoming a Steel Dragon type. We got Hisuian Growlithe and Arcanine. Lilligant, all right, the evolved form of Petalil. It's a grass fighting type, super cool. It's one of the noble Pokemon that you'll see. We also got Zorua and Zoroark, normal ghost types. Very, very cool concept. They look amazing. And we, of course, have the new Avalugg Hisuian form, which is a rock ice type. So make sure you look out for these Pokemon on your journey. Catch them if you can. Catch the original forms and then evolve them into the Hisuian forms if you have to. For example, Goomy. Have fun with it. They're really cool looking, and it makes for a very cool, well-rounded looking team that fits the Hisui region. And then my final tip to you guys, tip number 10, make sure when you find a starter evolution of a certain Pokemon, make sure you fill out the dex of them before you evolve them, especially when you get the alternate starters that you didn't get. Since they are hard to find, you're gonna want to complete their Pokedex entry before you evolve them, because once you evolve them, you're not gonna be able to get, like for example, if you did not choose Oshawott and you somehow catch him later on in the game, if you don't complete Oshawott's entry before evolving it into Duat, you're not going to get the opportunity to finish Oshawott's entry in the Pokedex unless you catch another one, which is very hard to do. So make sure you complete it first before you evolve, and that goes for Duat too. Before you evolve the Samurott, making sure that you complete each entry. It's just going to make your life easier if your overall goal, which it should be, to complete the Pokedex, because that's what we're trying to do in Pokemon Legends Arceus. So team, that's all I got for you. Those are my top 10 tips and tricks for beginners playing Pokemon Legends Arceus. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, comment below what you picked, what you chose for your favorite starter, how far you are in the game, and if you're excited for a potential DLC, because it is rumored that we could be getting a DLC come April or so. There's areas on the map which look like you can explore further, but you can't just yet. So a little tease for the future of the Pokemon Legends itself franchise. I'm excited to see. So with that all being said, thank you so much for watching the video, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.